Namaste. Welcome back to UD's quickest movie reviews. This is Udai, back with some wonderful filmmakers and their work that we are going to review in our show today. Before we start, let us thank all those subscribers who have been supporting us so much. And if you are new to our channel, this is the right time to hit that subscribe and the bell icon and be a part of our show and help us reach all those filmmakers, because somewhere there is a filmmaker with a wonderful film that can be reviewed and help him reach all those people who wants to see some wonderful filmmaking. Now, let's get right into the show. Welcome back. Today, the very first movie that we are going to review in our show is, with a screen time of 11 minutes 8 seconds and posted on One Time Pakala, a YouTube channel. The very first movie that we are going to review today in UD's quickest movie reviews is Pagaivanaai, Naan, Maara. The film basically is a Tamil thriller drama. The movie basically starts with this fellow who has come to a professional killer to give a contract to kill a person who happened to be his own best friend. It turns out that there is a dispute going on between these two friends, and the fellow wants to settle it with murdering his own friend. After listening to the story, the Don accepts to kill him. But then, when the contract killer accepts to kill his friend, the person who gave contract expresses his wish to be present when he is killing his own friend. After a little bit of thinking, the contract killer accepts for this with a condition. The condition is that this particular person who is giving contract has to bring his own friend to a given location if he wants to see him die. Now, the day comes when these two friends walk into a location where the killer is waiting to kill his friend. What happens next? Will the Don kill him? And if he kills him, what happens next? How will this end? Is a typical South Indian masala movie ending given to this story. Now, let's see the technical details. The film is written and directed by Mr. Payas. Frankly, the film is a very old commercial format and is easily predictable. It might be one of the reasons why you feel film is too lengthy and slow. In spite of enormous effort given by actors, film still looks unnatural because of the chemistry, because of the lag in the reaction, sometimes too predictable reactions, and sometimes the dialogues are too old to digest. I'm sure if they could have spent a little bit of time in pre-production and had some workshops, dialogue tune-ups, I'm sure this movie would have been much better than what we are looking at right now. Now let's see the camera. Cinematography is done by Mr. Gunasheelan. We have already seen Gunasheelan's work before. I may not say this is the best output from Mr. Gunasheelan because I have already seen his work. I must say he did a decent job, but however, when it comes to comparison with his older works or the other movie works which I have seen, I don't think this is the mark of Mr. Gunasheelan. He could have done much better. When it comes to camera, and when I saw Gunasheelan, I was wondering why didn't he experiment with the shots, because he has given very basic shots, there's nothing new about the shots. When you are talking about underground or a film which is connected to crime, there is a lot of scope where you could have used your camera to travel across. There's a lot of scope for focus pulls. There was a huge scope where he should have experimented with lights. I don't know whatever reason it is, but he chose to play safe. And that might have backfired in this film. They should have experimented with camera. Now let's talk about editing. Editing, sound effects and poster designing are done by Mr. Nilan. Frankly, when I saw this poster, I was so blown that I was super excited to watch this movie. However, when I saw this movie, I must say I was a bit disappointed. Nilan could not replicate the same magic he did with the poster. However, Nilan did manage to give some wonderful visuals. But then, when it comes to his choice of color and the way he wanted to balance the frame, I must say, it was not that appealing to the eye. And it really spoiled, or it really failed to connect an audience to the video. Let me finish my review by saying that they did work very hard, really very hard to get this visual, but then somewhere they lost their control and the effort they have given is not enough to convince audience to watch this movie as interesting as it should have been. With that, here at UD's Quickest Movie Reviews, let us rate this film a 2.5 star in our show. All the best.
Pagaivanaai, Naan, Maara. It's a gangster concept where a guy who approaches a gangster to kill his friend. Why? How they are going to succeed in this plan, or whether they are going to succeed in this plan, are the rest of the story. The story doesn't have a proper screenplay, I would say, because most of the part you are able to guess what's going to happen, even though you find some twists and turns, but those are being expected in this movie. The story also lets you down in few cases where the cast of this story is the bigger issue, since you don't find or you don't go or see those cast enacting their role, or even their body languages doesn't show that respective characters which they have been portrayed. Cinematography was okay, given the scope which was given. So does the editing and other technical stuffs. As a gangster movie, they could have gone a bit extent, especially in the end, where the director tells some messages to the audience. But when you see on a bigger scale, that message and the way the entire film has been shot or has been given to the audience before that particular sequence doesn't give you, it is completely again a contrast feeling you will get, which makes you to feel incomplete in certain cases. With this, I rate Pagaivanaai, Naan, Maara a 2.5 out of 5.
Now to the second film of the episode. With a screen time of 14 minutes 52 seconds and hosted on Veeravel Vatrivel Film YouTube channel. The next film is a family-centered social messaging short film, and the name of the film is Muthiyor Illam. Now the film basically starts with an establishment of a family where there is this grandfather and grandson who was very closely attached, and there is this lady who is mother of this kid and daughter-in-law of the grandfather, who for some reason doesn't like her father-in-law and wants to get rid of him. And she's constantly trying to convince her husband that this old man is a liability and a very bad example for her son. She wants to put him in a old age home, supporting her. Even her brother, who is the brother-in-law of his husband, constantly is pushing him to know that his sister is unhappy and it is his job to make her happy by throwing his father in an old age home. So there are these series of bad incidents that are giving this husband a bad understanding of his own father. Now when it comes to end, will this person push his father to an old age home? If he does, how will the story end? And what happens to this old man? And there are a lot of such questions. And there is a huge question mark to the society that is showcased in this film. Now let's talk about the technicality of the film. I'm sorry to say that the technicality of the film is very weak that I didn't want it to take names of any technical person. Other than, of course, the director. I believe director is the captain of the ship, and anything that is not up to the mark, I really hope that it is the director who has to take the responsibility. So let's talk about director. Mr. Sriramu Palanisamy is the director of the film. The film may have started with a great thought. Unfortunately, the poor technicality of the film makes it very hard for a viewer to watch it till the end. The filmmakers failed to understand how exactly they wanted or they need to compose this particular film. The combination of very bad acting and sync sound with absolutely disturbed ambience made this film not only hard to watch but painful too. At times, I also see these crew members who are standing with a script paper prompting their actors within the frame, and the editor chose to use that particular shot. I understand you don't have another shot, you could have cropped it, right? You could have cropped it. But editor chose to use it anyways and director approved for that. Finally, to sum up, the film is a great thought with absolutely no technical skills and a forced social message was out to fail, and that is what happened in this film. Hope the makers update their skills, try to understand the film and how it is done, try to work a bit more on the technicality and understanding of the composition of the film. They may make some wonderful films in coming days. With that note, here at UD's Quickest Movie Reviews, we rate Muthiyor Illam 1 star in our show. All the best.
Muthiyor illam. Muthiyor illam is a story where the female lead wants to send her father-in-law to the Muthiyor illam or the old age home which is the exact same things. So how she does it and why she does it is the story. When I saw this title, actually it gave me an immediate connect because this was the first concept which I worked, and this was when I was doing my short film. The first short film which I shot was under this concept. With that same expectation, I saw this movie. However, it completely failed and disappointed me because each and every aspect of this movie didn't live the way it should have been. Let it be the casting, let it be the screenplay, let it be cinematography, editing, acting, each and every aspect of this movie was completely letting the concept down, and you nowhere want to see this movie again, which is really disappointing. With this, I rate Muthiyor illam a 0.5 out of 5.
Now that brings us to the last movie of the episode, and before we review the next movie, if you are new to our channel and like our channel so far, then now it is the right time you hit that subscribe and the bell icon and be a part of our show. Help us reach all those filmmakers who you think deserve to be in our show, who may have a very good movie waiting to be reviewed by us. Be a part of our show, support us. Now, let's get into the review. Now, the last movie that we are going to review in our today's quickest movie reviews is, with a screen time of 1 minute 52 seconds and posted on Mitesh Take YouTube channel, Durga's Lockdown. Durga's Lockdown is an experimental, abstract, symbolic quick movie that will showcase about the lockdown routine and side effects during the lockdown. The movie basically is a composition of a lot of montages and a lot of symbolic visuals that are composed. The movie basically is a composition of different montages of this man and woman who are locked in lockdown. During this period, the montages of man doing different things and montages of women doing other things are shown. And there is somewhere these two people have a clash and they start fighting. What happens next or how the movie ends is exactly what they have shown in the film. It is more related to Indian insight and what happens, or if we are talking about domestic violence, yes, this is the right movie to be in your list. However, this is an abstract and it quite not exact picture of what happens, but then it is close enough to understand a different phase of, or the dark phase of Indian women facing domestic violence. As this is a quick movie, then there isn't much that I can talk about the script or the storyline of the film, but I'm sure you would love to see this. Now coming to the technical details, written and directed by Mr. Mitesh Take. The film is a deep thought, mostly related to the domestic violence and hypocrisy. The film, as I told, is composed in such a way that it looks more abstract. If you have great imagination and understanding of the subject, I'm sure you are going to enjoy it to the core. The filmmakers may have made it seem so easy, but as a filmmaker myself, I can understand how hard it is to visualize such a huge subject and simplify it so clearly that we see it in this way. Now moving on to camera. Camera 1 is handled by Mr. Srijan and camera 2 by Mitesh. As this film itself is montage based, camera really played a great role. They had to capture exactly what they wanted and quick, and they wanted it to move smooth across each shot. They did capture some wonderful visuals which were absolutely making sense. One great thing about the camera is the way they use natural light. They did, as far as I understand, they did not use much light, but use exactly whatever light is available. They compose their shot accordingly. That is a great thing, guys. Now about editing. Now coming to the editing. Editing is done by Shekhar Indu. Shekhar Indu did a wonderful job as the film completely is based on the visuals. The way the visuals should be patched played a vital role. And in this particular case, I really love the way they have chosen their cuts. The transitions were very smooth, and when it comes to color, that is where I was a bit not satisfied because the frame looked too yellowish. I'm sure they could have used some other color which could have made this film more appealing. At the end of the day, the film is as interesting as your imagination could be. If you have great imagination, I'm sure you will understand and enjoy this film more. I'm sure the team has a great potential and would love to see more of their films in coming days. With that note, here at QD's Quickest Movie Reviews, we rate the film a 3.5 star in our show. All the best.
Durga. Durga is a short film, but more often I would say it looked like a PSA than a short film. The concept of the story is the domestic violence which is against the woman. But I like the way it was shot. The contrast or the comparison between the men's world and women's world and the conflicts which is going to arise between these two was shown brilliantly. Credit goes to the cinematographer because there were some shadow shots which was done, and that was neatly done, I would say. So does this editing was good, so does the other part of the technical parts as well. You don't much see the casting in this movie as it was self-explanatory. With this, I rate Durga a 3 out of 5. Good luck.
So guys, that brings us to the end of the show. Hope you enjoyed our show today. Write to us, how did you like our show? And before that, let me remind you that you can watch all the films that are reviewed in today's episode by hitting the link given below in our description. All the movie links are given in the description, and we want you to watch each and every film and write to us what you think about these films and what would be your rating for these films. And guys, if you are a filmmaker and have a great movie that you think should be reviewed by us in this show, you are welcome. We have given our email address in the description and all our social media links that are given in the description. All you have to do is inbox us and just write to us that you want your movie to be reviewed in our show. As always, thanks to Mr. Venkatesh for being our special reviewer of the day. And with that note, guys, it's time that we wrap up our show. Thanks for all the support. Till we meet next time with some wonderful filmmakers and their work that we are going to review in our show. This is me, Udai. Namaskar.